There are three popular communities that everyone asks about when they are looking for options to live near Red Deer, Alberta: Blackfalds, Lacombe, and Sylvan Lake. So in this video, we are going to compare them and break them down. All right, let's get into it. And remember, if you guys are getting any value from these videos, please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out. And if you'd like any help making the move here, use this info popping up, get a hold of me any way you'd like. All right, let's start by talking about the location and the commute from each of these communities. So let's start with the closest one. So Blackfalds will be your closest commute out of all three of these communities. From the northern border of Red Deer to Blackfalds, you're only about 13 kilometers. So this is a super short, easy commute on Highway 2A. Now, if you're just going to the northern border, if you're just going to the north end, of Red Deer, taking Highway 2A would be a good option. But if you are looking to head downtown Red Deer or maybe heading to South Red Deer, I'd actually head over to Highway 2 and head down that way, because sometimes 2A can actually have a lot of traffic on it. There's a train that can hold traffic up sometimes, and it's just a windy, slow moving road, especially before work and after work. So if you're looking to head downtown or head to the south end of Red Deer, definitely head over to Highway 2, the big one, and head south. Now let's move on to the next one when it comes to commuting. The next closest one would be Sylvan Lake. So you are only about 15 minutes straight west of Red Deer. So tons of people live in Sylvan Lake, work in Red Deer. I swear half the fire department lives in Sylvan Lake. Again, only about a 15-minute drive, and Highway 11 is a double lane highway. So it is a really nice, easy, stress-free commute going from Sylvan Lake to Red Deer. Now the longest commute out of these three is going to be Lacombe. So you're about 25 minutes away from Red Deer, straight north on Highway 2. So that's nice. I used to live in the very southeast corner of Red Deer. And actually, when I was doing my EMT training to get hired on the fire department, that was actually downtown Lacombe. And I could make it there in just under half hour from door to door. So all three of these communities are super easy commutes to Red Deer. Definitely great options. Blackfalds is going to be the closest. Now let's just kind of do an overview and talk about the demographics of each one of these communities. So Blackfalds, really fast growing community. One of the fastest growing communities in central Alberta for a period of time here. I think it was like 2010 to 2016. It was the fastest or second fastest growing community in all of Canada. So it just goes to show you how popular Blackfalds is. It currently has about 12,000 people. And out of the three that we are talking about today, Blackfalds definitely has the youngest demographic. This is actually one of the things that Blackfalds is known for the most, is just how young of a community it is. I had a buddy that lived there, and he kind of likened it to the Wonder Years. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember that movie with Paul, who was allergic to his own snot. Love that show. But he said that you could let your kids go out and play out on the street like it was 1980, and there is no worries. There was tons of kids to play with, and it is super safe. Now, if we take a look at Sylvan Lake is growing really fast as well. This is a super popular community, especially from people moving from out of province. It's one of the nicer lakes in Alberta. Great for all your water sports, all that kind of different stuff. Gives off a really great lake town vibe. So super popular. But I think that because it is so popular and there's so much tourism, they have roughly 1 million people will come through the town of Sylvan Lake through the summer months. So the population of Sylvan, 18,000. You inject 1 million people from, whatever it is, from May to August. That is going to make the town extremely busy. Obviously, everything is going to get busy. It's great for local businesses, but I think that deters some of the elderly or those kind of looking for a slower pace of life and looking to retire. It kind of deters them from moving to Sylvan Lake a little bit. So definitely a younger community in Sylvan Lake as well. It's not as young as Blackfalds, but still a really young, active community. Now, if we head north to Lacombe, I think, is a lot more of a mixed demographic. So Lacombe is actually a city. It's only got 15,000 people, so it's got about 3,000 people less than Sylvan Lake. But as soon as it was able to apply for city status, it did. Here in Alberta, it's 10,000 people. But it's a nice mixed demographic there. A lot of retirees love living in Lacombe, so you do have an older population there as well. I think people love it there just because it is so quiet. and there's so much character, which we're going to get into in this video. All right, let's talk about affordability when it comes to these three communities. So what most people want to know about is, what is it going to cost me to buy a home, and what am I going to pay in property taxes? The utilities, the groceries, all that stuff, they're going to be the same throughout for all of these communities, so we're not going to discuss that. But let's start by talking about the real estate market in Blackfalds. So really fast growing community. Like I said, there's only 2.2 months of inventory in Blackfalds right now, which makes it a really competitive seller's market right now. So currently the median detached price is sitting at $435,000. Now, this number is going to change a lot. We're only a few months into 2025, so we're going to see this change a ton. But in 2024, we saw the median detached price go from $370,000 all the way up to $420,000, which is just over 13% appreciation. So a really competitive market, and property taxes in the town of Blackfalds, they are a little bit higher. I have a lot of people who move here from Ontario, not my clients, but I see a lot of people posting on forums where they complain about the property taxes in places like Lacombe and Blackfalds. And yes, they are on the higher side, but I really don't understand the point when, for example, if you're moving from Ontario, British Columbia, the property taxes are going to be higher, but you're literally paying way less than half for the house than what you would pay in those other provinces. But a little bit of a tangent there. Let's get back on track. The residential property tax rate in Blackfalds is 1.03%. So on a $500,000 home, you're going to pay $5,136. Now let's talk about the real estate market in Sylvan Lake. So out of the three that we're going to talk about today, this is definitely going to be the most expensive market. It's actually more expensive than Red Deer right now. But Sylvan Lake is currently sitting at $477,000 for that median detached price. In 2024, we saw that price go from $400,000 to $436,000, which was a 9% rate of appreciation. So houses in Sylvan Lake right now, man, they are just flying off the shelf. If you've priced it right and they show well, if you don't get in there that day, you are probably going to miss out on an opportunity for renting on that home, and homes are going into multiple offers. So let's head up north and let's talk about the real estate market in Lacombe. So Lacombe is definitely going to be the most affordable out of the three that we talk about today. I think because it's just a little bit farther away. Blackfalds is so close, Sylvan Lake is so close, and you have the lake there. Lacombe is a little bit farther of a commute, but the median detached price in Lacombe right now is sitting at $400,000. So super affordable. Now, this statistic actually shocked me about Lacombe. In 2024, we saw the price go from $350,000 to $406,000, which is 16% appreciation. That is a ton of money. Now, unfortunately, Lacombe has one of the highest property taxes in Alberta. I believe it was 4th or 5th out of all of the cities in the province. So this can be a little bit of a kick in the teeth. Property taxes are high there. Currently, the residential property tax rate in Lacombe is 1.12%. So on a $500,000 home, you're paying $5,577,000 per year, which is definitely high. Now, even though home prices are going to be a little bit more expensive in Sylvan Lake compared to the other two that we're talking about, Sylvan Lake is going to have the lowest residential property tax rate. So right now, again, 2024 numbers, 2025 has not been put out yet. Property taxes in Sylvan Lake are 0.99% of the assessed value. So on a $500,000 home, you'll pay $4,926. So all three of these communities are really affordable. I get people from all over the world watching this channel, so I would love to hear in the comments below how these prices compare to where you live. I would love to hear. Let me know. All right, let's move on to amenities and lifestyle of each of these communities, because this is super important. You need to not just buy based on the home and buy based on real estate prices. You need to love where you live. So let's talk about what each of these communities has to offer. But let's start this off like we have the whole video by talking about the town of Blackfalds. Blackfalds, again, is really well known for having a very young demographic and being amazing for young families. The largest demographic in Blackfalds is kids under 14 years old. And when you're there, you're just going to see it. You're going to feel it. There's tons of activity. There's tons of parks. And there's just tons of young families there. But when it comes to amenities, Blackfalds is also really well known for its recreational amenities. For a town of its size, the recreational amenities in Blackfalds just blow me away. So starting off with their rec center, it is called the Abbey Center. In my opinion, it might be just as good or better than anything you're going to find in the city of Red Deer. This really is a fantastic rec center. It's got a great gym to get your fitness in and a running track. There's field houses to play basketball and badminton. There is a really fun play area for kids there. My kids love going there. It's called the Tree House. You climb around all of this cool stuff and it's in this designated area. It is a ton of fun. And outside the Abbey Center, there's an outdoor pool. And I don't think there's anywhere else in central Alberta that rivals this one because of the water slides this one has. So this is a fantastic outdoor pool. The Abbey Center is absolutely amazing. And right out front of the Abbey Center, they have what's called the All Wheels Park and Bike Park. So this is great for those looking to BMX, mountain bike. There's a skate park out front for skateboarding. So this is a really fun area. It's right out front of the Abbey Center. And they also have the Eagle Builders Center. So this is a relatively new building. I think it was only built a couple years ago. In there, they got a brand new library. It's got 2 different stories. It's absolutely phenomenal. And in the Eagle Builders Center, this is also home to the Blackfalds Bulldogs, an AJHL hockey team. It's got a brand new arena there. It's really fun to go watch a game there. Definitely go check it out if you're in the area. So tons of really good recreational amenities in the town of Blackfalds. Now, one of the knocks on Blackfalds, you'll hear this from a lot of people, is that it doesn't have a ton of great shopping. You know, you're going to get your typical small town stuff like your couple grocery stores. So for the longest time, it only had one grocery store. There's another one that's opened up on the south end of town now. You got your hardware stores. There really is no nightlife in the town of Blackfalds. I don't even think it would actually have a nightclub or a bar or anything like that. However, you are starting to see a lot of developments take place. There's been 50 businesses, new businesses that opened over the last year. As well, there's at least 25 new commercial spaces under construction right now. Now, it did get a brand new high school called the Iron Ridge campus. It just opened last fall in 2024. It is a public high school. So previously, kids were having to be bused to Lacombe, I believe. So it's nice to bring those kids back to the community. Now, Blackfalds does not have its own hospital. I think because it's so close to Red Deer, it almost feels like a suburb of Red Deer. Sorry, Blackfalds. I know a lot of people are going to get pissed about me saying that, but it does not have its own hospital. So you'll have the ambulance respond from the city of Red Deer if you do have an issue. They do have no transportation. There's no buses or anything that go from Blackfalds to Red Deer, but they do have the Bolt van, which is the Blackfalds online local transit van. So you can call them up, you can book, and I think it only goes to the north end of Red Deer. Now, I think that you are going to continue to see Blackfalds experience a lot of growth over the next decade or two. So most of the land in between Red Deer and Blackfalds has been annexed by the city of Red Deer. So a lot of that is going to be developed, and it's just going to bring the two towns closer together. And I think you're going to see a lot of people actually wanting to live in Blackfalds versus Red Deer. All right, let's talk about the amenities and the lifestyle in Sylvan Lake. Now, again, this we talked about already. This is the biggest one out of the 18,000 population. Now, I think that because of all the tourism in Sylvan Lake, this might be one of the reasons why they've got some really great amenities. So in Sylvan, you're going to find things like Walmart, Canadian Tire, Mark's Work Warehouse. It's so funny because people moving to this area, they're always asking me, where is the closest Walmart? How far am I away going to be from a Walmart? So if you don't want to go right into Red Deer, the only other option is going to be in Sylvan Lake. Now, in my opinion, I think that Sylvan Lake has the best nightlife in the area. Yes, I do think it's even better than Red Deer. So on a warm summer day up on Lakeshore Drive where there's, thousands of people, sometimes you have all the restaurants and the bars and the music playing and everybody's just looking to have a good time. There's a ton of options up on the lakeshore. Now, when we're looking at rec centers, we do have the Next Source Center in Sylvan Lake. It's your typical rec center. It's got gyms and running tracks, skating rinks. I don't think it's as good as the Abbey Center, but nonetheless, it is a really good rec center. Now, if you're looking for some fun things to do in the area, they do have a Western Canadian Baseball League team called the Sylvan Lake Gulls. So this is a super fun time. They just got a brand new stadium, which is kind of it is on the southwest corner of the city, or not the city, the town. So really, really fun time. Lots of people really enjoy going to these games. If you're in the area, I highly recommend checking it out. Sylvan's just really well known for having a strong community feel to it because they always have something going on there, whether it's just people up hanging out at the lake. The Lakeshore Walk is beautiful. They call it Sylvan Lake Provincial Park. Even in the wintertime, they turn it into the Winter Village, which is decorated with tons of different Christmas lights, and they even have wood up there. So if you want to light a fire and have a wiener roast or make some marshmallows, In the wintertime, they also have the family day weekend, so they have polar bear dips and dog sled races. During the summer, they have the Sylvan Lake Aqua Splash, which is basically this gigantic blow up thing out in the middle of the lake for kids to slide down and do different fun things on. It's a super fun time. So a really tight community feel in Sylvan Lake, always something to do. And again, it is a younger community. All right, now let's head a little bit north. Let's talk about the amenities and the lifestyle of living in Lacombe, Alberta. Now, I'm a big fan of Lacombe. I'm not gonna lie. I absolutely love this small city. I think out of the three that we talk about today, it has the most character and the most charm to it. And I know some people are going to argue with me on this one, but I think when it comes to walking trails and having access to beautiful nature, I think that Lacombe, Alberta is the winner out of all of the three that we're talking about today. There's just tons of interconnected walking trails that go around all of these bodies of water, and it's just a beautiful small little city. Now, if we head downtown, it's got an historic downtown. It has all these old Edwardian buildings. It's got the oldest Flatiron, the second oldest Flatiron building in Canada. This downtown has won many, many awards. It's really, really cool when you're down there. It kind of feels like you're in the old Western days. And Lacombe is also known as the mural capital of Alberta. So throughout its entire downtown, it has its history painted on murals. And it's just a really cool area. Now, Lacombe is definitely going to have the quietest feel out of all the three that we talk about today. So if you are looking for a little bit more of a laid back lifestyle, a little bit more quiet, Lacombe is definitely going to be your best option. Now, when it comes to amenities, you would think that because it has a city status, you would find all of the more bigger franchise stores like Walmart and Canadian Tire and different things like that. Lacombe does not have anything like that. It's got your typical small town amenities. So it's got your Home Hardwares, which in my opinion is the best home hardware in Central Alberta. I absolutely love that store. You have the Gary Mo Sportsplex when it comes to rec centers, and there's lots of really good gyms there. So it has you covered for everything. There's a few grocery stores in Lacombe, but when it comes to the bigger stuff, it's not going to have that. So you might be thinking, oh, this is a city, it's going to have all that stuff. It does not. Now, if you're looking for some things to do in Lacombe, definitely go check out the Lacombe Corn Maze. So it is just west of town, just on the other side of Highway 2. This is one of the coolest areas and one of the best ways to spend the day with the kids. They have a huge pillow trampoline there. They got a couple of them actually. There's so many different games and rides that you can play on. You can go through the corn maze. You can go pet some animals. Be careful with the donkey though. There's even a sign that says, "Don't pet the donkey, he will bite." And I'd taken my daughter there when she was young, and before I'd even noticed, she'd stuck her hand in there, was petting him, and he bit her. So do not pet the donkey. But this is a fantastic way to spend the day with the kids. If you go just a little bit farther north of Lacombe, you get into the J.J. Collette Nature Reserve. This is a beautiful walking area. Definitely go check it out if you're looking for some good places to get into nature. They have the Ellis Bird Farm, so if you're into birds and all that kind of stuff, this is an awesome place to check out. And it is home to the world's largest fishing lure. So some super fun things to do in Lacombe. Now, out of all the three that we're talking about today, Lacombe is the only one that has its own hospital. So Blackfalds being as close it is to Red Deer, I imagine that's why it doesn't have its own. And Sylvan Lake only has an urgent care center, so it can only treat minor things. Anything more serious, you will have to go to Red Deer. Now, all of these towns have all of the schools that your child is going to need. Again, Blackfalds just got a brand new high school, but none of them have a Catholic high school at the moment. So if you're looking to put your child into a Catholic high school, they will have to go to one of the high schools in the area. Now, there is plans to put a Catholic high school into Sylvan Lake, but that won't be happening for quite a while. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And if you do need help making the move here, give me a call, shoot me an email, send me a text, use this info popping up. Would love the chance to earn your business. All right, guys, I will see you next week.